in our first game of LCQs.
Keeping an eye where teams are heading. This time around, Circle only cutting off Stronghold. Everything else is in and amongst the mix, and Bioweapons is definitely a little bit spicier this time. We've seen Fnatic drop over towards that side alongside Gentlemates. It was very much because of the Circle that dictated Gentlemates being on their own last time.
Yeah, a couple big shots here, obviously into the kill feed already. You see several shots being fired. You do see this fight Tun was just talking about. This is the same fight we watched for 12 drops almost through these last several group stages.
Whoa. Squad 1 already, what the hell?
We've lost team number 3. That's going to be 9Z Globin. Again, there was a lot of responsibility for this team to step it up as they were last through group stages, and unfortunately, they've been cut down early.
I have another point here as well, actually, because we did see 5 Fears dropping over towards Stronghold time and time again. They have not went in that direction. This time around, it's been EXO and Inner Circle. They've went over towards that side. 5 Fears, well, finding themselves over towards the north side of that.
And we, of course, have the same fight we were expecting to see, and a fight that may last a while. The fight for control, the battle for control over control is one that you will hear time and time again from start to finish in this entire competition. The blood trading hands in multiple different angles, and you're right, 5 Fears is actually getting into the mix. This is very reminiscent of what FaZe did last time up here near Bio, actually chalking when 100 Thieves landed up here to try to make something new for themselves when they were down the leaderboard. Big Man and Co. uncontested in Kim, like you mentioned, Tun, and now they're getting into the mix with their anchor all the way back in Kim by himself.
Yeah, I don't hate this whatsoever. You know, you watch what's happening over towards Bioweapons, Gentlemates, and of course 5 Fears over here now, but the Fnatic boys were the ones over first. And because that fight's going, they're taking blow for blow, and then if you're 5 Fears, you come in and try and pick up the pieces. Enkyo trying to do a little bit more than that, and that's just Survive right now. Scythe down low, ready to pick up some more pieces, but there's 3 different teams inside of Bio, and may well be 5 Fears who come out on top.
Yeah, it's a huge take from them. Again, only sending 2, their anchor and chemical by themselves. Scythe getting into the mix, Enkyo finding finally some blood. All of these teams trying to restabilize. Fnatic has completely abandoned Bio now after being pushed out. So you're gonna see the Gentlemates in that blue 8 all day today. You're gonna be seeing 5 Fears in that green 5 on your screen right now. Scythe trying to win a 1v2. Grom pre-fires, doesn't connect. Scythe swings through and should get the 1v2. Scythe is going big, proving the deaths to be correct.
Yeah, 3 kills already. That's Bioweapons under their control. And now the push is actually potentially gonna happen over towards both. There was the anchor from Gentlemates over towards that side. Could be in a little bit of trouble, but we go over towards the other side of the map. This one has been raging for quite some time, but all of a sudden VK are now starting to get themselves over and involved. Over towards Stronghold. Teeny already on 3 kills here to the side of Inner Circle.
Yeah, huge take here, but Vidati's team is in living quarters. Their anchor sitting in living quarters by themselves. Well, these 2 Slayers get into the mix here with Inner Circle and EXO Esports, who both drop Stronghold.
Looking to find the picks, and it looks as if Inner Circle are going to be forced away. It feels like the map's almost freed up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Seemingly allowing themselves to be a little bit more fluid in their transitions. Everyone getting a little bit more aggressive over towards control, though, where things continue to be the same. There's no fluidity here. It is very much the same picture we've seen over the last 2 days. Maybe start Koi and the Thieves find it out.
This is a tug of war that we saw actually for 12 games. These 2 teams in the same group, which means they play each other for all of their games, and they will continue to fight for this position. 100 Thieves said it. They said, hey, you know, LCQs, we want to try to knock each other out. But speaking of knocking each other out, we swing back to Vidati, whose anchor was challenged. EXO knew exactly where this anchor was, and all of a sudden, VKA had to come back and play support as EXO was trying to relocate and regain on top of AZ.
Fight continues. Looks as if they are going to win out here, VK, in a relatively decent spot. But one development actually has gone on. You can see at the top of your screen, Showstopper and Robstar controlling headquarters. AGAL, they had to vacate, they had to move away. They went over towards the north side of the map. They're now fighting over towards chemical engineering with 5 Fears. Gentlemates have regained themselves over towards bioweapons, but we can see that circle starting to close. Things are going to start getting a little bit tighter.
Yeah, huge shout. AG after a really frustrating group
kills
stages.
as well.
They've swung all the way over to, I believe, Factory Harbor, now all the way up into Kim. So they're fighting that anchor that is 5 Fears. It's a great shout as this fight continues on main.
It's not a lot going on, though. There's not a lot going on.
Yeah.
There's not many kills coming into for either one of these 2 teams that we've seen a great deal of. They're doing that thing we talked about time and time again. They are slowing each other down just a little bit. Nobody got that ultimate control over where we are right now.
Well, we got to take a quick listen in here with 100 Thieves and see what they're thinking. They are not getting third party. They're just in a tug of war. Let's listen in.
Pretty sure they like B.
Many.
How many? Push, come in.
This one. I'm fine.
Hey, we're second B now.
I'm going back. I'm going behind. I'm playing the heady. They're coming up third. Yeah, they're coming up third. What up third? Hit him over. Hit him over. Knock one.
I'm pitching, I'm pitching.
One back. Playing left side.
He's
All three there.
He's off. Back down. But it's above us. They could be roof. They just press him. I think they're all third.
I'm gonna go. Oh, we'll try and loot up for a loadout.
There was no one bolt skull.
Yeah, I got 10 seconds.
They're pushing me mid. Yep. Chase me.
3 seconds.
You have one guys on the hill by or something. Ready? Above me second. He's mini hopping up.
I'm gonna total loadout. Come over.
Tell me.
Where?
Tell me to my flash, knocked one out. One shot, absolutely, one bullet. Ammo crate.
Without listening, kind of showing what's been happening for both these two teams. Not a great deal, to be honest with you. Eventually, the fight will come through, and it's a bit of a 50-50 game. We'll clean up on the net odds, but other than that, you know, this has kind of been the story of Control Center. Over and over again, teams fighting for that control, but neither really gaining a great deal in the entire scope of things.
Yeah, it's a tug of war that doesn't seem to have any end until the end of this map, maybe. Good grief, they're going to be fighting for a while, but Ankyo off-screen has been frying, and frankly, it's because Fnatic has been fully eliminated. Something we saw during that listen-in. Fnatic, the only other team fully eliminated besides 9Z on the hands of the Gentlemates and a couple other folks, frankly, up in Chem. Now we do see AG, there they are, I was about to call them out. AG have restabilized down in Harbor after causing some concern up in Chemical with Five Fears, with Gentlemates, and now the late Fnatic. Great spot here for AG.
Yeah, and I like the push from them. They're kind of being fluid. We talked about it. They're happy to go in any different direction. They headed all the way up to Chemical Engineering. Headquarters is their drop, and right now they're now focused in and around Factory. Circle's starting to close in about 18 seconds time. We'll know exactly where we're heading. Still, 12 teams remaining. We have not lost many bodies yet. But with this circle, if it does move in any direction rather dramatically, then we may well do so.
Let's see Rock. He's taking a high ground position. We haven't checked in with them yet. And so far, a pretty slow game, because frankly, they've had Prison by themselves the entire time.
There's a big fight going on over towards the Prison side, but you can see already Chemical and Engineering, team's going to have to try and make their push. Can they manage to find a way through? I'm not too sure. But Harbor right now is completely uncontested. But about this fight in front of us now, Exo trying to get something going. Jawad will fall. The Mutant Code just trying to get a little bit more purchase around headquarters side of the map. Everybody's starting to get involved over here. There's been multiple different teams heading over towards headquarters, mixing things up. It's been a hotly contested area. Nobody really in full control right now.
Yeah, as you can see, Lace has found an angle. We've been wondering what Leviathan would do. With Twisted Minds off the board, would they just go back to docks, or would they change things up? Factory, rather. Over by the seaside, near boat. AG, though, seemingly doing a lot of the same. Our zone has pulled to the southeast. And as it does, everybody's going to be filtering into this factory side. Could go school, could go factory. We're expected to end as this fight continues. Gentlemate's now in trouble. Gromalok, wrong timing as Lays, Decky swing in and pick up another.
Nice done. These are big kills coming through here for Leviathan. Haven't really had much of their own way whatsoever throughout the majority of the entire broadcast, to be honest with you. It's been a little bit of a slow showing as well as it had been for G-Max, but over towards ROC again for Warzone. They're pretty safe here, not finding many kills. You might find one here, but Enkyo grabbing his loadout to find those shots. Finds the first one, couldn't follow it up.
Frankly, low risk, low reward sometimes with a sniper. Like, if you're not hitting your shots, you're not getting anything for it. When you do, sometimes you're able to pick up a couple early picks. But in the mid game here, Rock has been really slow because, again, they're not contested by the same teams in Prison. They've had Prison mostly to themselves, besides a few regain players. And Wars is trying to get any number of kills he can find here in the mid game, so that if they do make it to a multiplier, they're looking good. And finally connects on the Gentlemates, knocking down one.
Yeah, Gentlemen are in a lot of trouble here. They've really been trying to get away, but they've got Wars sniping down on them. They've also got the Leviathan right in front of them. And for all that, this circle moved very, very late. I mean, they moved late, I should say. The circle was here for quite some time. Grom trying to survive. Got to be living on a wing and a prayer.
Oh.
That should be Gentlemates. Oh no, somebody does spawn in, so they just about survive as long as they needed to. Grom will eventually fall, but Enki and Co may well live to fight another day.
Been pretty impressed with this Five Fears roster as well to regain and make sure they stay alive. We still have 12 teams remaining. Reminder, our first multiplier comes in with the top 10. Here's a look over the top. G-Max trying to do everything they can to find angles here in Prison, trying to retake mid-map. The zone has pulled actually a little bit further to the north than I expected. We were headed Harbor or potentially Prison or somewhere in between. a big place here for Inner Circle to swing up, but unfortunately Big Man's found the angle, and all of a sudden 5 Fears striking fear in the hearts of Inner Circle. They've got to back up.
Yeah, 5 Fears have had themselves a good game here, but still 12 teams remaining, by the way. As that circle gets ever smaller, teams over towards the boat side are going to be a little bit of trouble, but for the Australians here, can they continue to survive? So many teams in and around it. It's going to be 5 Fears who come out on top. The hip fires in. Big Man sit down. Teeny finds the gunfight. They continue to slay, but so many different teams in and around them. Factory control now here for the side of Inner Circle. It settles down just a little bit. Teams starting to fall. Not quite still. 12 now, 11 as 100 Thieves.
Wow.
Fall out of the competition. Could not get things going. That control center drop ain't working.
100 Thieves completely out. Not in this map at all. Going to be near the bottom of the leaderboard for LCQs. We'll see if they shift things up as Movistar Koi is alive and have moved all the way down here. They're in that lavender color, number 13. Watch out for Volcom and Netods here on the angle in Factory. Going to be playing around Inner Circle down below. AG is restabilized. Okay. Look at our new zone though, folks. We pulled all the way up to the land between Harbor and Prison like we were talking about. It's wide open except for the sliver that is touching Prison. I'm looking at those teams already in Prison in a really good position if they can maintain control of the high ground.
I believe that's going to be potentially EVOS and, of course, the side of ROC. They've been there for quite some time. Now on with Leviathan. Lays. He had been that guy for them, hadn't he? 8 kills to his name. And that is now going to be some good points on the board for them, but those multipliers are going to start coming into play. You would expect it maybe a little bit sooner. We're in Circle 5, closing, and still with 11 teams. Aydan will fall. Prodigy and Co's trying to get something going here. But for the side of Inner Circle, can they continue to survive the shots coming in? A lot of trouble. Notorious will find them, and they will fall. Starting to drop some teams. We're down to 10.
Inner Circle also has been cut down. They are out of here. That's Team 14. They're off the map. EXO barely still alive on the back of Penguin after a self-revive. As we also lose the Gentlemates off screen. We lose Hollow. Squad 8, that's your Gentlemates. High ground position goes to Rock Esports. They said we shouldn't be here, and now's the time to prove it in the very first map. Down to the final 5 teams. This is the best multi you're going to get besides the win.
Slowing down here inside of Prison as everyone starts to take their breath, to take their moment, because things are about to get a little bit crazy. You can see the circle is going to move us down. Players starting to make some gas plays. Vision already knocked here from sight. Incredible shots. 6 kills to his name. There may well be one below him as well. He's not in a bad position to do something here. We'll have another freebie. 5 Fear striking fear in everyone. Sight's in a really good spot. He may well be on his own, but this is not out of the realm of possibility.
As a solo, to get the zone position, to get these kills is everything. We knew how close the margins were in group stages. Now's the time to do it again in LCQs. Rock Esports in a pretty good position if they're able to fight through that team number 4. That's going to be Sucra, TNX. Watch out for this team. Technically with the advantage, they do take the high ground position, and all of a sudden, 5 Fears has bought one back. Does get cut down. We've got a floater and a solo and a duo.
Prodigy just trying to survive. Smokes out to try and give him some sort of cover. The floater is going to be an issue. Another player coming back in. Big Man gets taken down. So 5 Fears are out. This is a 2v2, but one player floating in the air. Prodigy in a tough spot. How are they going to manage to find this? Another player brought in. Wars is into the party. G-Max, can they find it? They had the established ground, but now all of a sudden things change up. Vision tries to get the position, but all of a sudden the drop's coming through from Prodigy. Pull off the 1v2.
It's a 1v2, 1 down. You can't get the res. You got to win it. Sucra pinches perfectly. GAMX Esports, the first winner of the first map.
Incredible work from GAMX. I counted them out immediately, and that is a huge win for them to find. As time will go on, squads will